Okay, so again today we are working on a problem where we are dividing fractions by using a visual model, and we have a word problem that we are going to solve for. Alright, so the question is, Jennifer has 3.5 cups of jelly beans to share with 7 friends. How many cups does each person get? So we're going to use the cube strategy, and under the cube strategy we know that we need to first start off by circling any numbers in units that are seen in the problem. And so we have 3.5 cups of jelly beans. Maybe I should say of jelly beans. And she's going to share that with 7 friends. So that is our numbers and our units that we're working with. And then we need to underline the question. The question is, well, how many cups does each person get? Okay. So we want to find out how many cups does each person get. And then we want to box in any keywords that help us to figure out what we are going to do. And in this case, I noticed that she said each person. How much would each person get? And we know that each means we're going to divide. So when we're talking about division, we know that the first number, or the dividend, is the total amount that we have to share. And so in this case, she had 3.5 cups to share. But I noticed that the 3.5 cups is in mixed form, mixed number form. So we have a whole number and a fraction. So we need to fix it so that it is all in fraction form. And remember, we use the Texas method. Okay? The Texas method means that we are going to multiply 2 times 3 to give us 6. 6 plus 1 will give us 7. And we always keep our denominator, since that is what we started off with. So we have 7 halves as our dividend. That's the total amount that she has to share. And we are going to share them out among 7 friends. And we know that every number has a fraction. And if we don't see the fraction, then we know it's always over 1. So 7 over 1 is the amount of friends that she is sharing it with. Alright, so now we're going to use our model again. We're going to color code it. Our columns this time will be red, and we will have blue here for our rows. Okay. So in this case, we have a total of 2 columns. We have 2 columns. Columns means we're going from the ceiling, C ceiling, to the floor. And we have a total of 1 row, which we have here. So it's 1 row, our original model. All right, now we need to figure out, well, how many columns are we going to shade? Well, in this case, it says that we're shading in 7 columns, but we only started out with 2. So we're going to add on to our original model. We need to have a total of 7 now. I'm going to add on both sides to try to give us our 7. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 5. That's 6. And I'm going to try to squeeze one more over here. So hopefully we should have 7 columns now. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, we have a total of 7 columns. And so we're going to shade in red our columns. Okay, so it's basically going all the way down. We're just putting a mark here so we know that this is our columns. And now we need to do the same thing for our rows. We have a total of 7 rows that must be shaded, but we only had 1, so we have to add 6 more rows. That's 2. That will be 3. This will be 4. This will be 5. 6 and 7. This is 7. Alright, and then we're going to take our original column line and just make it go all the way down. So now we need to put our marks in there for all of the rows that we have. And remember, we're going to shade all the way across for our rows. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and go all the way across our 7 rows. All right, so now we need to figure out how many column pieces were shaded. And all we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 marks. And then we have to know how many row pieces were shaded. And so when we look at our question, zoom out a little bit, we can see that we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So we had 7 over 14. Okay? And so we see that we have 7/14, but we can make that a little smaller by dividing both the numerator and denominator by 7. That would give us 7 divided by 7 is 1. 14 divided by 7 is 2. Okay, so we have 1/2 is what our answer is. So we have, for the question, each person would get 1/2 of a cup. And so we've solved our problem. Now let's check our work and just make sure that we are doing the right thing. So we're going to work our way backwards to get back to the dividend. So we have 1/2 for our quotient. So we're going to put 1/2 here. We had 7 over 1 for our divisor. So we're going to put 7 over 1 for the divisor. And when we multiply multiply fractions, we multiply straight across. So 1 times 7 equals 7. 2 times 1 equals 2. So we should have 7/2 for our dividend in the original problem. And if we look, we see that we have 7/2 and 7/2. So our answer was correct. 1/2 cup of jelly beans that each person would get. Thanks for watching.